Hi folks, I'm in Edinburgh today, down at the Ocean Terminal in Leith, and I'm just about to get some tickets to board the Royal Yacht Britannia. And you enter the Ocean Terminal, it's the second floor, just head up there to get your entrance into the boat. Royal Yacht Britannia, the second floor, so that's where I'm heading. This is the entrance, folks. Just have a wee look at the price list here. So there we go. That's the prices there. Prices, adult, including guide, £20. Child, £9.50. Not too bad at all. That's just the entrance down there. So just about to start the tour, just been given an audio guide, one of these. So there's 27 stops, so let's go. So the first part of the tour is where the captain would be, in here. So most of the equipment here was installed in 1953. There was only one seat in the control room, and that was for the captain.
You are now standing at the front of the yacht, and from here you can look down onto the Royal Bridge directly below. Often, as Britannia sailed in or out of harbour, the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh would watch from the Royal Bridge, waving to the cheering crowds on the quayside. The curved teak windbreak was a later feature, added for modesty's sake to prevent sea breezes from lifting royal skirts.
So that was the top deck I was on. Just about to go into the second deck.
With a total of 10 boats and 18 life rafts, Britannia carried more craft than a warship. Towards the front of the ship on either side are two identical motorboats, known as jolly boats, and on the opposite side of the ship are the davits for the Britannia's two fast motorboats, which were used to escort the royal barge whenever the Queen was aboard. Together, these 5 boats played a crucial role when Britannia rescued over 1,000 people from war-torn Aden in 1986. As you continue along this deck, you will notice that the windows here are higher than anywhere else on the yacht. This is because these windows look into the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh's bedrooms. By placing them at this height above the deck, any accidental glimpses into the royal bedrooms could be prevented. It was here that the royal family could relax in privacy, sunbathing or enjoying games of quoits or deck hockey on this, the largest deck on Britannia. Prince Philip would occasionally set up his easel here and indulge in the royal pastime of painting. There was even a collapsible swimming pool, which was sometimes placed here for the royal family to take a dip in.
So this is the tea room in the Royal Yacht Britannia. So there's two parts to the restaurant, this being the other part. Also very nice and good views looking out to the sea. So this looks rather nice, folks. Victoria sandwich cake and a latte on board the Royal Yacht Britannia.
You are now in the largest and grandest room in the Royal Yacht Britannia, the State Dining Room. Here, the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh entertained their guests in spectacular style. Through these doors have walked some of the world's most powerful figures to accept the ultimate honour, an invitation to dine at the table of Her Majesty the Queen. Sir Winston Churchill, Rajiv Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, Bill Clinton, Boris Yeltsin, Ronald Reagan and Margaret Thatcher all have taken their place in history aboard this royal yacht. What made a banquet on board Britannia quite unlike anything else was the careful planning, the minutest attention to detail and the impeccable style with which the whole affair was carried off. It took 3 hours to set the 56 places for a state banquet when the position of every knife, fork and spoon was meticulously measured with a ruler. The menus, which were printed in French long before Britannia set sail, were given to each guest to keep as a souvenir of a very special night. In earlier years, the dining room also doubled as a cinema. Then, the large white panels at the end of the room would hinge back to reveal a film projector. The carpet could also be rolled up to expose a wooden dance floor beneath, although the last time this was used was for Princess Anne's 21st birthday celebrations. Nowadays, the state dining room hosts exclusive evening events, and those who are entertained on board still experience the same meticulous attention to detail and famed Britannia standards of service. Although this room is known as the Queen's sitting room, it was really more of an office, for this was where the Queen would work on state business and meet with her private and press secretaries to discuss the fine detail of forthcoming royal visits. Even at sea, official affairs took up several hours of the Queen's day, and the red boxes containing state papers would be flown or shipped out to Britannia no matter where she was in the world. The 2-metre-long built-in desk with its green leather top was where the Queen sat to work, and here the royal writing paper, pens and blotters were kept. Above the electric fire is a mirror in the style of a ship's wheel, topped with a gold crown, the centre of which is positioned precisely at the Queen's eye level. The original sofa was used in HMS Vanguard in 1947, when the King and Queen, accompanied by Princess Elizabeth, travelled to South Africa. The Duke of Edinburgh's sitting room was used principally as a study by both Prince Philip and also by Prince Charles. The same size as the Queen's sitting room, the teak-panelled walls and red leather-topped desk lend a functional look to Prince Philip's study. Above the desk is a specially designed display case in which the Duke kept a model of HMS Magpie, His Royal Highness's first naval command. Both the Queen and Prince Philip's sitting rooms are connected by telephone to each other and to the offices of their private secretaries, one deck below. The telephones on the Royal Yacht are identical to those used in Buckingham Palace. This spacious and elegant drawing room served both as a place for the royal family to relax and as a reception room. For official functions, the drawing room, together with the anteroom and dining room, could accommodate up to 250 guests. The drawing room is comfortably furnished with chintz-covered sofas and deep armchairs which sit on a luxurious Persian rug. The Queen originally requested an open coal fire in this room, but as Navy practice demanded that a sailor had to be on standby with a fire bucket at all times, this option was rejected in favour of the electric fire that you see today. This beautiful teak-lined room was one of the Queen's favourite spaces on Britannia. It was a true family room and offered privacy from the rest of the ship. Here, Her Majesty liked to take breakfast and afternoon tea while enjoying the often spectacular views through the large picture windows. Prince Philip bought the bamboo furniture which you see in this room in 1959 during a visit on Britannia to Hong Kong. The wall panels with illustrations of former royal yachts cleverly conceal a drinks cabinet on one side and a record player and a games store on the other. The rum tub in the corner of the Sun Lounge dates from Queen Victoria's reign. It was used on Britannia to issue the yachtsman's daily rum ration up until 1970, when the Navy's rum issue was abolished. The first window you come to looks into Her Majesty the Queen's bedroom. When Britannia was being fitted out, the Queen decided to make use of the bed linen bought for Queen Victoria's bedroom on the previous royal yacht. The Queen's specially tailored sheets had a large turnback and were embossed with the personal monogram H.M. the Queen. Above the Queen's bed, there is an embroidered silk panel which was specially commissioned in 1953 at a cost of £450. Now, as you make your way to the next window, you will see that the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh's sleeping quarters consist of 2 suites with an interconnecting door. Each room had its own bathroom. The Duke of Edinburgh's bedroom reflected the Duke's personal taste and has a more masculine look. His pillowcases are the same size as the Queen's, but on his specific request do not have the lace borders. Like all the single beds on the ship, the Queen and the Duke's beds are standard 3-foot model. For an official state visit, up to 5 tons of luggage would be brought on board. This included the Queen's clothes, accessories and jewellery, under the watchful eye of Her Majesty's dresser. If either the Queen or the Duke of Edinburgh required anything at any time of the day or night, they could simply press a button next to their bed. This royal bedroom, together with the adjoining room next door, are a mirror image of the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh's bedrooms, although noticeably smaller. While the Queen and Prince Philip's rooms were reserved for their use alone, the bedrooms on this side were used by other members of the royal family. This is the only room on Britannia with a double bed, brought on board at the request of Prince Charles when he honeymooned on the yacht with Princess Diana. When the royal children were small, this bedroom and the adjoining room were used as nursery suites.
This is me on the lower deck now, so let's go explore the lower deck.
Britannia was a ship in which hierarchy was strongly defined. It was reflected in everything from the food served to the sleeping arrangements. Halfway down the pecking order came the petty officers and Royal Marines sergeants. This was their mess, or living quarters. The room you are now in was where the petty officers would relax, and their sleeping quarters were arranged in 4 bunk spaces off this area. Due to the warm and friendly atmosphere, an invitation to have a drink here was highly sought after, especially by the Buckingham Palace staff when they were on board. During the Queen's Western Isles cruise around the northwest of Scotland, the usual strict protocol on Britannia was relaxed, and then the petty officers would entertain the Queen and other members of the royal family here. Over 20 petty officers served on Britannia, with responsibilities ranging from radio supervisors and marine engineers to stewards and cooks. The Royal Marines sergeants, some of whom carried out security duties, while others formed part of Britannia's band, also shared this mess. Now, as you continue on the tour, you will walk through one of the petty officers' bunk spaces. Accommodation for each man consisted of a bunk, which folded up into a seat, and a locker where he kept his possessions. However cramped these conditions appear, they were a great improvement on the previous hammocks that were used up until 1970.
a little shop here. Another bar area.
Britannia was the only ship in the Royal Navy to have a laundry permanently manned by her own crew. The laundry was larger than would be usual for a ship of this size.
Very grand entrance to the Royal Yacht Britannia, with the royal party would board. And over here we've got where the crew would board the ship. Hi folks, hopefully you've enjoyed the tour of the Royal Yacht Britannia. Very interesting indeed, really enjoyed it. If you've enjoyed my video, if you give me a thumbs up and if you could subscribe to the channel, that'd be great. All the best until the next one, bye for now folks.